You can start here.
Okay.
Please go ahead. Yeah, you can start.
Yeah. Okay. So welcome everyone. I am Kritika Desai from MRS IT Solutions, and today's session is a demo of ABAP on HANA. As we all know that ABAP is evolving and HANA is a new backbone. By the end, you all will see how the two come together. This today's session is just a demo session to our upcoming training batch, where we will cover these topics in depth with real world examples and with the exercises. Let's talk about the agenda, in which we will be covering two parts. First one will be our course overview and the demo examples. I will first introduce you to ABAP on HANA, in which we'll show you the tools and new features and walk you through some demos and explain you how this connects to real world projects. And finally, I will share you how our upcoming training session will prepare you to be hands-on with all this. So in our syllabus, we will cover introduction to SAP HANA, migration from ECC to SAP HANA. Then, as we have migrated from ECC to HANA, we'll have the tools, Eclipse and HANA Studio, which will be required when we perform some task in HANA. As I said, we will be having CDS views, ODatas, AMDPs, RAP, ALV, IDA, for which we will be needing some tools like Eclipse and HANA Studio, where we will be doing our exercises on the same. In today's session, we will be covering two examples on the CDS view and OData, in which we will provide a short demo on both, so that we will be having the overview of our training session, in which we will be covering the deep dive on CDS and OData. So here is our introduction, wherein we have two diagrams. One is for the ABAP background, wherein we have database layer, application layer, presentation layer, which involves our SAP GUI. So as we all know, we all are from ABAP background. So as we all know, in the database layer, we have some tables like MARA, EKKO, EKPO, right? So this is the backend of the database layer, wherever we are storing the data. Then we have an application layer where we are doing the calculations and everything like reports, smart forms. And finally, the presentation layer will show the output, wherein we are having the SAP GUI with different T codes, SC38 and everything, and where we are showing our output. So this is how the ABAP layer works. But when we talk about HANA, so HANA is in-memory database. HANA itself is an in-memory database. Imagine instead of searching for a book in a library shelf, every time you have the entire library on your DEX. That is our memory. So that's the speed advantage, right? If we get the things at our desk itself, we will be having the speed advantage. So that is what our HANA is all about. In HANA, we have the in-memory database, wherein whatever the calculations you are performing, we don't need to go to the application layer. We will be performing the same at the database in-memory level, wherein we will be doing everything at the database layer itself, and we are pushing the data directly. So in the presentation layer, we will be having the front end. So from SAP GUI, we will be moving forward to the Fury. So in HANA, we have two parts. One is cloud and one is on-premise. So In on-premise, we will be having some touch to the SAP GUI plus Eclipse. But if we talk about cloud-based HANA, then we will be having the touch to the BTP layers. So we will be having RAP applications, Fury applications, which will be having itself their screen for the applications. So that's the advantage of HANA. Talking about the tools which we will be needing in terms of moving forward for developing some CDS views, or I can say different applications related to AMDP. So in AMDP, we have the AMDP database marker layer, wherein we will be having the stored procedure. So that is required for developing some class-based interface over there. So that is in-memory database, which is enhancing the performance of the system. So for that, we will be needing Eclipse, in which we will be having the HANA tools. For that, we will be having the Eclipse ADT, which we will be installing. And another thing is HANA Studio. Anyone you can prefer. And from SAP GUI, we will be having the database access to those systems, and we can develop our applications. Talking about new ABAP syntax. So this is the advantage of HANA. As we can see in ABAP, whenever we are writing some basic select queries, so we are having explicit data declarations required. So in the initial beginning, we will be declaring some data. For example, we will be having some variables which we need to declare. We need to declare the tables. We need to declare everything at the beginning, which will be required in the reports when we are further processing for the requirement, while accessing the loop, or while accessing the tables, or while accessing the select queries. We will be needing the database declarations over there so that we can access the things. But what HANA provides inline ABAP declaration, wherein we will be having @data, this syntax wherein we can declare the datas or variables at the same place in the select queries, or you can say while reading the tables, we will be having value hash expression. We will be having for expressions when we will be having a loop. Instead of having nested loops, we can use for expression as well. So this is how the HANA is enhancing the performance when we are writing the code. Talking about ADT tool, as we discussed, we will be having the HANA systems to be enhanced over the Eclipse platform or HANA Studio. So for ADT, we need to install the Eclipse, wherein we will be having one URL, and we can install the Eclipse platform. After that, we can open the ABAP development. We can sorry, any questions?
Any questions you have? If you want, you can ask now, or you can ask at the end as well. So feel free to ask if you have any questions. No problem. Please go ahead, Kritika. I think maybe you don't have any questions. You can move on.
Okay. So I can say the real power of ABAP on HANA comes with CDS views and ODatas, as we all know, right? So in this training, we will provide you not only to create this, but also to expose them as services. For that, we will be needing Eclipse tool. Then we will be creating the CDS view over there. Then we will be having some annotations, which comes by default. So we will explain what is the importance of those annotations. So whenever we are developing some reports for that, if we talk about ABAP, we will be needing some roles, right? We will be providing some authorization when we are accessing those reports to the functional consultants or to the users. The same thing we will be doing with CDS as well. So for CDS also, we will be using some roles and authorizations. So for that also, some annotations are there. Different annotations are there, which serves its own purposes. Some annotations are related to the SQL view name, wherein we will be having the backend view also created to the CDS view, front end view, and the backend which we can check in SE11. But nowadays it got obsoleted. So we will be talking about those annotations in detail when we start our sessions. And talking about the OData service, we will be walking you through the creation of this OData service with the T code SEJW, and how we can create some custom OData services, how we will be checking that for a particular Fury application, which OData service is mapped in the backend, how we can register that into the gateway. that we will talk deep dive, and the entity set, the importance of things which are needed for the OData services that we will explain. Finally, as we will be discussing on CDS and AMDP, so the data which we need to display in the Eclipse, how we can check it, how we can execute it, and how we can see that for a particular CDS view, how we can check the data and how we can access it into the backend program. That we will be also discussing into our upcoming sessions. So let's move towards our demo for a particular for particular CDS view or OData service. We'll start with CDS view with association as of now, and then we will move forward for OData service. So as of now, any question into the theory, or we can start with demo.
Any questions in the new syntax, CDS views, these things? Especially just to add one point here, okay, the complete ABAP, right, what we were going to write a new programs or new concepts has been built on two things. Basically, new ABAP syntax, okay. Other one is a CDSV. Whatever you write in the code, right, in the either maybe function models or Eclipse editor, ABAP editor. So we should use the new ABAP syntax only. There is a lot of improvements has come in the new ABAP new syntax. So those are very important for even for the RAP as well. New ABAP syntax and CDSP. This two will be there forever. Yeah, please go ahead.
So currently, what about CDS views means? What is the difference between ABAP editor and CDS? It
CDS
is
is basically where you build the data models in the Eclipse, in the Eclipse environment, development environment. Through the CDS view, you can export that CDS view as a data source for for apps, Fiori applications, and they also works as a APIs. Means you can exchange the data from SAP to other SAP system through the CDS views. It is basically a data model or data queries, you can say, SQL queries, where you can write all code push down. You can do it in CDS views. Lot of improvement has been done. So a lot of case statements, so sting operations, so all these things is built on code push down concept.
okay. Is it related to GUI? Means
No, in the CDS view, you cannot develop in the GUI. You must develop only through the Eclipse only, not in the GUI.
okay,
Because that Eclipse, what you develop the CDS views in the Eclipse is compatible for the S4 HANA on-premises and as well as S4 HANA on cloud as well.
okay. In CDS view means according to this cloud you said
Cloud and on-premises both, not only for the cloud.
means cloud and on-premises
Both, yes, yes.
migration.
No, once you migrate to S4 HANA, so whether if you are maintaining your S4 HANA system either on-premises or cloud, right? If you are going to go to CDS view, you should develop through the Eclipse only, no other way.
Means we have to use Eclipse for CDS views.
All development will be done in CDS in the Eclipse. If it is in cloud, no option, no GUI, zero GUI, only in Eclipse only. Whereas if S4 HANA client is having the on-premises, okay, it works both. You can develop a code in the Eclipse and as well as in the GUI. But in the GUI, you cannot develop the CDS view. This is the concept.
Okay, if we want to use CDS view, then GUI is not required.
Not required. GUI, CDS view you can use in ABAP programs also as a data source. Basically, CDSV is a group of select statements. So you can use across multiple ABAP programs, CDSVs. You can use in the GUI as well, but as a data source, like a table or a MARC table, you can write a query on your CDS view as well.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we good for the demo?
You can go ahead, Kritika. Anyone having any other questions?
Yeah, Mahesh, one question I have.
Yes, go ahead.
So, if any existing report is in ECC, and if you want to change the code through the CDS, so is it possible to change with the new syntaxes in a previous in your old syntaxes below 7.5? So, can we use that?
Kritika, can you answer or you want me to answer?
Yeah, I will answer.
Mm.
So, if your system is on ABAP, first you need to migrate it to the HANA system. So, if we need to check the compatibility between the ABAP system to the HANA system. So, first we migrate it from ECC to HANA. First, your system needs to be moved from ABAP to HANA. Once your system is compatible enough with HANA, at that time, you will be having the first project as migration, which will be having two types. One is brownfield and greenfield. So in brownfield, what you will do, you will be having the codes which are there into the ABAP system. For that, you will be changing it to the, say for example, your material field is getting extended, right? So you need to write the logic for that material extension, keeping other things same. You can write the inline declaration since you have migrated it to HANA system. So that inline declarations, new syntaxes will get support. So that you can do. But as your existing reports which you have already developed are based on tables, I would suggest that replacing it with CDS will take a lot of time when you are changing it completely. So if you wanted to develop a new report from scratch, you will go with CDS view and then you modify your reports or do the developments. But instead of that, for the existing one, you continue with the tables and use the inline declarations and these things to complete it before time. I hope I have answered the question.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Basically, also there will be a lot of estimation and all has to be done if you want to convert the existing report into the CDS views completely. So you need to change, you need to give the estimation and then building lot of things will be there to take it forward that to convert from existing OpenSQL statements on the database tables to CDS views.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so let me just quickly start with the demo. I think the question was about like how we can access the CDS view that we will also cover in this by creating the CDS view and then calling it via the report. So I will show you so that the query will get answered. Uh, First of all, we will be needing this Eclipse platform, which we will be required for creating the CDS view. We can't create CDS view into the SAP GUI. So that's the first step. CDS means core data services. So that we will be creating it into the Eclipse only that supports Eclipse. That's the first thing. Once you are into the Eclipse platform, you will be needing the ABAP package also to be installed. So you need to install that ABAP package from the editor from Windows and from help. You will be installing the ABAP package over here. Once you install the ABAP package, your Eclipse will be getting supported with ABAP. After that, you need to configure your ABAP project. ABAP project means the backend system. So here, for example, SAP GUI, this system is logged in with S4H right now. So we need to configure that system over here, so that whatever the objects we will be creating, that will get created in S4H. Here we will be going to new and we will be adding that ABAP project. We will be getting our system and we will be adding it. As of now, I have already added. So in system connection, we will be adding our system so that the backend connection will get established with the SAP GUI.
Just to
Now,
add one point, what this towards is, right? One point is, see, in the slightly the confusing word, maybe ABAP project, means ABAP project means as well SAP system, backend S4 HANA SAP system. So the Eclipse is just a development environment. Nothing will be done in this environment by the users. It is only for the developers. Just to make you clear about the uses of the Eclipse. So no user will use the Eclipse, end user. Okay, please go ahead.
okay. So as I've already added the system, and we can create a package into the backend from SAT that we all know, right? We can create a package from here. The same thing, we can do it from here. As my already package is there, we will be using this package for the development purpose. Now, we will be developing the object. For that, we will be going to our system, right clicking there, going to other, and here as we need core data services, so you can see we have different folders, right? Core data services, that means our CDS, wherein we have different things: access control, annotation, definition, aspect, behavior definition, data definition. So this behavior definition will be required in RAP, which we will be taking into our training course. That time we will be explaining how behavior definition will work. Access control annotation, this also will be getting covered. Access control deals with the access, as I was saying, as I told you already. In CDS, we will be needing some access as well, right? We will be giving it to the particular users only. So for that, we will be using access control. And as of now, we will be talking about data definition, wherein this is the basic of the CDS view. When we go for data definition, we will be creating our CDS view. So here, I will be mentioning our package. Let's just have some CDS view. So after the creation, by giving the name to a CDS and description, the prompt will come for selecting the transport request. Whatever the transport request we have created into the backend, since this is already created for me into the backend, so we will be we will be creating it from the GUI. The prompt will be established and we will be selecting our transport. Once we select it, we will be going to the next prompt. We will be not going directly to finish, since in the next prompt we will be getting different options over here, like define view entity, root view entity, define view. If you can see, this is define view. Generally, when we start exploring the CDS over different sites, you will be getting sample examples related to define view only, not define view entity. But now if you can see here, it's written that absolute as ABAP 7.5. So as of now, I think 2 years back only, this define view got absoluted. So now it got replaced with define view entity. The difference between both is, in define view, there was a syntax wherein in the backend, if you go to SE11, here one more view. SQL view used to get create when you create a CDS view in the front end. So front end CDS view will get created in the Eclipse, and there will be one more syntax in which it will tell that we will be having a SQL view which gets created into the backend as well. Since that SQL view was getting or occupying the space which was not needed by the SAP team. So they have come up with the SAP view define view entity syntax, wherein they are just creating the CDS view over here to fulfill our requirements.
Just
So
to add
as of
one point, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Just to add one point here, right? So this maybe some of you might not be knowing what is this ABAP as ABAP 1.57. No? This is like where the naming that we use. Application server AS means not as, I mean not general as. Application server as ABAP. This 1.57 is the ABAP version, NetWeaver version 7.7. From 7.57, so CDS view creating with the SQL view is obsolete, and it is good actually, because so we used to, I mean, very challenged to explain what is the exact purpose of the SQL view, because it was not much useful the SQL view. We were using only the CDS entity only, CDS view only, what we are going to create. So whatever the maybe the, so they have removed that confusion. So there is no SQL view will create once you create the CDS entity. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So define view entity, we will be selecting that. And once you select anything, if you try to select define root view entity, the SAP have given auto annotations. So these are this blue ones are known as annotations, and this is our main code which gets started. So the why we talk about this annotations, because here by default we have authorization check. So the name is given as annotations, wherein we can add other things as well, and we have label, end user text label, authorization check, other things as well. So these are the annotations which changes according to the options. So if you see here authorization check label, this is coming for root view, and if you see define root view entity, if you see over here the annotations are different, right? If you go over here the annotations will be different again, the code will be also different. So let's go over here. So this will be provided automatically. We don't need to write this thing. This will be automatically come as a prompt when you select this. If you don't go directly to finish, then you need to write everything by your own. So it will come as a default and you need to write the syntax by your own. Okay, so if you see here, we have authorization check. This authorization check has a role wherein we have wrote that it's not required. By default, it's coming as not required. Why it came as not required? Because we are not performing any authorization check as of now. This end user text dot label. If you see whatever description we have maintained while creating the CDS view, whatever description we have maintained, that came over here. And this at the rate object model service quality size category data class, this is having different importance for this. So this is the usage type which we are performing over here, whatever the size category. So if you remember, whenever we are creating a table, at that time also we have some delivery class, some data class which we are maintaining according to creation of the table, like application based, customized based, transactional based, what we are doing. So according to that, here also we are defining those things as per our CDS view. So let me just write a select query on this. By default, we got this syntax. Here, define view entity. What we are defining, view entity, that is what the syntax mean. And this is our CDS view name, which we have put at the time of creation. Now it's saying that as select from data source name. So now data source will be, for example, we are taking it as we all know, VBAK table. We will try to take VBAK table. And since it's a good practice when we are writing some association, like when we are performing some projection on two different tables, if we write as by giving a name, alias name, this known as alias. So if we give it as header table, for example, if we give it the name as header, so it denotes that we are representing VBAC as header. Then we'll have association. So here, if you don't want to write some code, we have some shortcuts wherein if you know, like we are performing association, then just press Control and space. So you will get the keyword as association. After that, we'll establish some cardinality. So here, as we are connecting two tables, one is VBAC and the another item table, that is VBAP. Why I'm putting the cardinality? We have different types of cardinality over here: 0 to star, 1 to 1, 1 to star, different types of cardinality. This we will discuss in our training session, like what's the importance of this cardinality. As of now, I will explain why we have put 1 is to star, because VBAC is a header table wherein we have the sales order for that as having one entry, and the line items, the position. The positions, the line item entries POSNR will be having multiple entries, right? 10, 20, 30. So that's why 1 is to start, so that we will be getting the multiple entries from VBAC table. Now, if you press control space, if you try, then it will give you other syntax, forward one. Then we will be writing our table name. Again, you can press Control S and you will be getting different over here. Any one of it you can write. So we need as. Again, to this table, we will be having the alias name. For example, I'm providing the item. Now, what we are doing? We are performing the joins on these two tables, VBAC and VBAP. So for that, we need to write some condition, right? How we can join these two tables. The common thing between those two tables is VBELN. That's our field, right? So we'll have, now if you put the dot, header dot, then it will prompt for different fields, right? So if you put V only, it will prompt for VBLN equals to your line item table. That's your item. Item also, if you put V, it will provide you the field name. Now we have provided the condition. We have performed the cardinality. We have connected two tables. Now let's display some fields over here. Since VBLN is our key field, so we'll, and we have provided the alias name as well. That's why header, again dot, you will get VBLN. Here again, you can give any name. Here as anything you can give. For example, I'm giving SO, anything, whatever you want. So this name will get displayed when you perform the execution of the CDS view. I'm sorry, we'll have item table field. That is again a key field, right? Okay, let's take a pause now. Let's display a few more fields. Okay. Let's discuss about one more concept. So if you don't provide here a last name, it will come as Kunnar only. Okay, here I have provided the POSNR as the same name, but here you can provide the same thing as it is. If you don't provide the last name, it will come Kunnar as the field name. Okay, and let's just this is known as exposition. So we are exposing the item over here. This connects the concept with path expression when we will be needing some fields while doing the select query. That's fine. We can ignore the warnings and we can activate it. So we have activated from here. There is a difference between these two. Okay, so this means only activating this object. And if you are working on multiple objects, in terms of RAP, if I talk about, so RAP, we have the basic CDS view. On top of that, we have different layers, consumption views. So when we will go with RAP training. At that time, we'll understand what's the behavior definition, then how we are doing the behavior implementation. So at that time, we will be having a lot of objects. And if we wanted to activate all the objects altogether, at that time we can use this. So this will activate all the objects altogether, and this is for only single activation. Right click over here, and our activation got completed. So if you activate here, if you see this is in slanting position, that means it's into the activation thing, not yet activated. But once it come back to its original form, that means it's got activated. Post activation, right click, go to run as, just do ABAP application, or you can press F8 as well. If you see, we have entries populated over here. Let me just sort it down. So we have, if you see, we have POSNR, Kunnar, 1, 2, 3, 4, different entries, right? With the unique one. For 3, we have 10, 20. Let's cross verify our entries from the backend. So let's go to VBAK table first. And what we have, if you double click over here, and if you try to copy, or else if you can select copy, this will copy your number. This way you can copy it. You can execute. Then you can check. This is our Kunnar, right? The same came as an output over here. And let's check whether 2 entry exist in VBAP table. If we see, we have 2 entries. And if we see the item are 10 and 20. The same way, right? So here, as we see, association, other name for association is on demand. If we talk about ABAP reports, okay, in ABAP reports, we have ALV reports. And if you see, we have interactive reports, right? Few of us have worked on interactive reports. The other name is drill down reports. When you have the ALV report in the front end, if you click on one of the header data, after that, double clicking that, you will go inside the another report, which consists of the item details. The same way, you can connect this association concept. Okay, now I will show you how we can connect that concept. Here, we have exposed this item, okay, underscore item. If you see, if I right click on this and if I try to follow association, right now, whatever fields we have put over here, that is SO, POSNR and Kunnar, that 3 fields or 3 columns you are able to see, right? But if I right click and if I try to follow association, we have the option of follow association. Here, it will show this item, underscore item. So that means whatever cardinality 1 is to star we have wrote, that has been established with the item. Once you double click on that, you will get all the fields from the item table. See now, although we have not mentioned that inside this, but we have this item, item underscore item, that have established the cardinality, and you can see all the fields over here. VBLN, POSNR, MATNAR, MATVA. If you see material, everything is there, right? The same, all the fields are getting appeared. That means only on demand. On demand means whenever you are demanding the item details to appear, at that time only it's getting appeared. The same way we are using the interactive reports, we are showing this, right? When you go to the header details, you are not getting the item details completely, right? But on demand of particular SO, sales document number, you will be going inside and you can see the cardinality. You can see the details. So for a particular sales order, you will get these details. Again, you can check another sales order, then you can get the details. So that way you can check it on demand. Now, the advantage of the CDS is it's not occupying the space, right? Although it is having the data, but on demand basis, we are getting this data. So it's not occupying the space in the beginning itself. In the beginning means whenever you are using the joins, right? Whenever you are using the joins, at that time also, when you are using left outer join or right outer join, you are getting the columns all together over here because you are displaying those columns. But in terms of association, you are not displaying it, you are hiding it, right? So that's the purpose. Now let's create a report for this. The same way I'm just creating a report. Okay. Package, let me lock it. Okay. Let's try to write a select query simple. So if you do control space over here as well, you will get the syntax. Okay. Let's check our CDS view name. This is our CDS view, right? The same one. I'm just copying the name. So select from our CDS view, right? What we are doing, we are selecting the fields, right? So whatever the alias name we have provided, SO, USNR, Kunnar, that will come. So if you do control space, okay, this came automatically. Let's check few more fields. Like these are already exposed one. But now talking about our path expression. So this is known as path expression. Here, whatever the fields which we have seen from item on demand, which are excessive fields, right? Which are not there. We have not put those fields over here, but we wanted to access the fields which are there inside the item table. So those we can access using path expression. So this is known as path expression /_ item dot. We will be checking our field name. For example, let's check the table. Let's fetch some field. Matnar, for example. Okay. My bad. Here in the path expression, we need to pass this one. Okay, into same thing, table. So this is known as our inline declarations. So this is 7.4 syntax. I'm not declaring data explicitly at the beginning. I'm declaring at this place itself. This is what I'm talking about. We can use this syntax in HANA. So this reduced our space, right? Instead of declaring LT data, right? And doing the types and everything which we used to do in the prior one. Data, then this is type table, everything, right? Our structure and everything. So here we are doing at the same place, inline declaration. Let me just display the report quickly.
Actually, to tell all of you, so we thought of to show the existing program, which is already be created, but still I thought better to show in the live. That is the reason we are writing the code on the live demo.
Okay, let's execute this. See, we got these details, right? So this way we can, so these are the basic, only the basic parts which we have covered. There are a lot of things inside this. The path expression is a big concept, right? So this, according to this, we can get all the fields. So this is another concept which we can check in detail. Another thing is this association, difference between association, left outer join, right outer join, why inner joins are used. This is another concept. So we will go deep dive into the batch when we will be starting. This way we can fetch the data and we can display it. So this is about CDS. Let's just quickly, I will show you the OData service. Like all of us know SCGW. What is the SCGW T code, right? So in SCGW, we have this standard OData service. In this standard data service, we have this data models, entity types, entity sets, right? So this entity types is related to our database structure, right? Which we already used to create. Different, I can say different fields are getting coming into the picture. So we have data source references. Here we have different types. We can create OData service based on CDS views. We can create OData service based on RFCs. So this also we will talk in detail into our batch, upcoming batch, how we can create this. We can create custom CDS view. I'm just giving a little bit overview on this. So basically, once we have the structure, like this is similar to our tables which we are creating. So we are just inserting the fields into this entity types. Accordingly, we are creating the entity sets. Again, here the concept comes into the picture, that is association. So if you are confident enough with CDS views with association concept, you can apply the same concept over here. So it's same, the concept is same. Finally, we have this runtime artifacts, that is DPC and MPC classes. So generally we used to deal with DPC classes, which deals with CRUD operations. all we are aware with create, read, update, and delete operations, right? So in this methods, if you see, we have get entity set. So see, create, delete. So we have different, right? Create, read, as I mentioned, create, read is for get, delete, and update. Okay, so these are all the operations which have the logic. Here inside this method, we used to write the logic. Okay, so once we write, so this is a standard entity. They are just performing the operations. We will discuss this, or we will be writing some custom code on a custom data service inside this method for getting the data. Lastly, I will show you this. This is the T code. This is a gateway. Okay, this is known as gateway service. If you see over here, we will be having our service. I'm actually not remembering the exact name because it's already been added to the system, as it's a standard one.
Oh, yes, maybe it's already started. I think we can
Yeah,
show,
it's
later we can show this in the classroom.
okay.
So this is
So
where
this
the
is
gateway system is to all of you too, right? Gateway system is the system is inbuilt within the S/4HANA system, where you expose your CDS view as a service to the external system. And here you can test as well your inbound and outbound both data.
So this is our entity sets, which will come. Any one of you, any one of it, you can test it. Purchase order, item, anything, right? So I've just selected one entity set from here, purchase order. Let's just execute it. Just performing get operation. If it gives the HTTP response as 200, that means it's successful. Say 200, and you can see the data. So the data will also come over here. Now, I think due to the server issue, the data is not getting loaded, but generally the data gets loaded. So it took time. Yeah, see, you will get the purchase order code, whatever is created in the system. So it will fetch the data. This way, this is just a simple overview of the gateway. There are different operations inside it: gate, post, put, patch. Everything we will cover into our sessions. So for today, I think we are good till this point. Any questions or anything we have?
Please ask any questions you have. Thanks, Kriti, I think. Yeah. Anyone having any questions about the duration or timings or anything? You have questions you can ask in here only. Later also you can reach to me as you know my number, all of you, and then I think you are there all in my group as well, SAP group. Okay, the complete training will be real-time oriented and then interview oriented as well, and then concept oriented. All this will cover. So that is where the intention that you might have already observed for last 1 hour of the decision what she has taken is completely real-time experience. She is telling that, and she will be taking that class as well accordingly. What exactly is required in the real time and interview point of view, basically. That is very important to tell to all of you. Right? Any questions, anyone? So server access I'll provide for 2 months for this training. Maybe anything that you stuck up or anything that you want beyond of this one, the earlier topics or anything, so you can please, maybe I'll take 1 hour like that, any of not of these topics, maybe some OOPS concept, basic things, all those things. If you want anything, you can reach, I can take as separate.
If CDS, if a new person is entering into CDS mode, what is the main thing? Means what will
So
be the
understood the CDS view, you first need to understand the database queries, open SQL statements, basically. CDS views on database statements, you should SQL statements you should understood, and then string operations, so case statements, all these things should have knowledge to understood the CDS views.
okay basic SQL
Yeah.
queries?
Yes.
So when is this batch currently
Uh,
starting?
Very soon, maybe within 2 days also.
Okay.
20 hours the duration, as I said already in the group. Any questions? Anyone? Priyanka? Pratik? Ramo? Naveen? Anyone?
No, Mahesh.
Okay.
It is a daily 8 p.m. or
We are thinking maybe alternate days we go and one weekend class, like that we are thinking. One alternate days or 2 days in a week, 8 to 9, no? And then remaining 2 hours like that, one Saturday like that. Like that we go accordingly based on the participants and her availability as well. For her also, evening is possible. So we go accordingly, both suitable for you and for her.
Ramesh, it's mostly 1 month class, right?
Oh, you can say 1 month will target to complete.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, Kritika? Is there anything you want to say about the duration on this one, Kritika?
No, in 1 month we can cover the concepts.
Good, yeah. Okay, I think thanks. We'll wind up. Okay, reach to me. Okay, whoever is decided. Okay, then we'll move on. Scheduling first class will start. Okay, thanks. All. Yeah, anything you want to ask?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
thanks, Abba. Thanks, Kritika. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you.